Hi ladies, Julie here. Just getting ready to do a polish application and I just thought I'd pop on and record it. I'm not going to do it live because I will probably try and edit some things out. But I just wanted to discuss a few things in regards to nail prep and things to do and not do prior to applying your polish. What else? And just some tips and tricks to help get some wear out of your polish, because in perfect circumstances, perfect nail health, non-oily nails, no nail damage, the polish can last up to 2 weeks, if not more. I have had it last 2 weeks or more, but not every manicure. Some only last a few days. It depends what I'm doing. I wash a lot of eggs a couple times a week, so my hands are in water for quite a while. And on those days, I do notice that if I don't apply the polish as properly as I usually do, or if I don't cap as well, or just kind of depending on the color used as well, I do notice that I get some lifting and chipping on the ends. So the capping for me is still something that I'm working on, but otherwise my polish lasts pretty well and I'm more than happy with it. With saying that, I do know of some people who only get 2, 3, maybe 5 days wear out of their polish, due to having really thin, brittle, bendy nails. So again, everybody's different. Everybody's has a different starting point. I always thought that I had oily nails because I do kind of have oily skin as well. So the very first manicure I did with GelMoment, I actually used Dawn dish soap, and I washed my hands really well, let them dry really well, and then I buffed, cleansed, applied the polish, and cured, and that one lasted well over 2 weeks. Now I haven't done the Dawn dish soap every single time, and to be honest, I'm okay with my manicure not lasting as long as the 2 weeks because I have so many colors that I haven't tried yet that it gives me an opportunity to remove it and try another color. Now, if you're using our nail spa line, so the Fortify, if you're using that on your bare nails prior to doing a gel polish manicure, some ladies like to apply polish over top of the Fortify. The Fortify was not made to put polish over top, though some ladies do like to use it because it makes removal a lot easier. But again, if you're using Fortify, letting it dry and then buff, cleanse, and applying your gel polish, just know that more than likely you're not going to get long wear of your gel polish because this will make it not last as long. Again, with saying that, everybody's different. Some ladies have no issues getting 2 weeks wear. So again, it's there for you to try. Again, it's not intended to use under gel polish, but some people do. So I leave that up to you. The cuticle oil. Now, a lot of people, if they have oily nails, they, oh, why am I applying oil to my nails? Well, this is used for nail health and cuticle health. So by applying it to your cuticles and massaging it up to the first knuckle every day, twice a day, however often you like, you're going to improve your nail health tenfold. Since I've been using it more, I have noticed removal a lot easier. Now, I posted a while ago in my group about someone was discussing using the cuticle oil, and it was just kind of a chart, and they compared it to a well oiled or wood table or wood furniture. So if you think of a plank of wood that has no protective coating on it, you put varnish or paint on it, it absorbs through. But if you seal it with the oil and nourish it, add hydration and all that to it, it makes your nails not so porous and just makes them healthier. So now with using this, I do notice that my nail beds aren't as dry, and when I remove, it seems to lift and come off so much easier, whereas before I would have to scrape a lot more. I would have to reapply the remover pads or the flake off, and it took a lot longer. Now, regardless if the remover of your choice, if it does seem to be taking a while, I urge you to take patience. Do not scrape really hard. Do not use the file side of the nail file and scrape it off. You can buff it a little bit, but you don't want to damage your nail bed. If you do too much, then you're going to have to wait for your nail to grow out. Removal is patience. It does get easier, but patience is key. So, what else? Yeah. Anyway, so I've already pushed back my cuticles. So nail prep. First step, again, if you have really oily hands, nails, you can use either some rubbing alcohol to dry them out. You can grab a nail brush and some dish soap and, clean your nails really well. But if you do end up washing your nails prior to applying polish, you want to make sure they're dry. Dry nails is key to long-lasting wear. If you have any type of moisture in your nails, that can be a source of it not wearing long for you. So again, I have used Dawn dish soap and water to quickly scrub and wash off the oils on the surface of my nails. And then I let them dry, or I dried them really well with like a towel or paper towel and let them air dry for probably half an hour to an hour prior to doing any of the other nail prep before polishing. So today I haven't washed my hands, but I do feel like my hands are, even though they're dry, they do feel a little bit oily, but that's okay. So next step after you're gonna push your cuticles back gently. This is where you want to shape your nails to any type of desired shape. And then you're going to use the buffer side, so the gray side of the file, and you're going to gently buff your nails. Now, I've read a few different things about over buffing, or some people say that what I'm doing is too much. Also, when buffing, you want to make sure you get all the edges as well. You want every surface of your nail that you're going to be applying polish to be buffed. One trick I saw one lady do, she would do a stripe down the middle, side, and then the edges, and that's all she would do for buffing. Personally, I feel like I need a little bit more. I'm a bit anal and I try to get it to last. So again, we're just prepping. I also grab, now that I have like a bunch of these mini files, I grab a new one. Not every manicure, but every other manicure. or so, but that's personal preference. Another thing you want to be sure that you're not doing, which I know that I just did, when you're going like this, you want to make sure you're not touching the buff nail with, or I mean, you can with your buff nail, but once you've cleansed them, you want to make sure that you're not touching the surface, because your fingertips have the oils on them. So everything's buffed. Now we're going to cleanse. So you can cleanse them all at once. Or if you know you have really oily nail beds, you can cleanse all at once and then cleanse before polishing each nail. So, you know, feel free to cleanse as often or as many times as you need. One thing I do want to mention is the difference between the GelMoment gel polish and other brands. Now, I have never used another brand personally, aside from when I went to the salon to have my nails done. So if you've been to the salon, you will notice that unlike GelMoment, they would do all this nail prep, but then they also put on like a base, which is a dehydrator. So it dehydrates the nail bed. And then they'd put on like the base coat, the polish, and top coat. So with GelMoment, we don't have the dehydrator, but our cleansing wipes are 70% isopropyl alcohol. So alcohol is dehydrating on its own. And then we don't need a base coat, top coat, because our polishes are a 3-in-1. So the base coat and top coat are formulated into the polish itself. And it has a really nice high gloss shine without needing an extra top coat. We do have additional top coats that you can buy. One is a nice sparkle. One is a mattifying effect, so it basically removes the shine from the surface of the polish. And then we have two that are high chunky glitters, like one's red, which is Captivate, and then there's Hypnotize, which is a greeny blue one. So now that our nails are prepped, we've pushed our cuticles back, we've shaped our nails, we've buffed our nails, we've cleansed our nails. Now you have your polishes. So before you polish, you want to make sure you've mixed them really well. I've already done this prior to starting this video, but to mix, you want to roll them between your hands, not shake them. So you're going to roll them for about 30 seconds to ensure they're mixed. Now you can change the angle, whatever you want to do, but you're just going to roll and mix. So today I'm going to use Raspberry XOXO, which is going to be February's color of the month. I'm going to use In the Mood, which is a nice and neutral. And I'm going to use Seacrest. So these are just going to be the bases, and then I might do some nail art in another video. I will see. So I'm going to apply In the Mood to these forefingers and then Seacrest on my pinky. And then Raspberry XOXO, I'm going to apply, I think, a heart on my middle finger, and that'll be it for now, I think. Maybe I'll do Raspberry XOXO on my thumb as well. Not too sure. So anyway, let's get started. So thin coats is key. Now, Seacrest is a high glitter, thick polish. So you can see how much polish is on this brush. You want to remove as much as you can. So I'm just trying to get as much off the brush as I can. So I don't know if you can see, my brush got kind of bent, but I don't have a big glob of polish on there. So let me see if I can bring this in a little bit here. And then for applying polish, you want to ensure that you're leaving a gap, so a space between the polish and the cuticle and the polish and the edge of your nails. This polish is self-leveling, so what that means is that while you're waiting, it will kind of level out and flood the cuticle area. So that's why it's important to leave that gap. So for applying gel polish, you want to start in the middle of the nail, push back, and then pull forward. And then you're going to carefully go towards the edge, but again, leaving that gap. Be easier when I show you on a larger nail, not my itty bitty baby finger. I'm just taking off more polish as I still have too much on here. Now your first coats, you should be able to see through them. Again, with the glitters, it can be hard to tell because they are so thick. And then you want to make sure that you're capping the edges. So you're going to run your brush along the edge of your nail. And if you have long nails, you want to go the sides as well. And then you can just quickly go over one more time. Okay, so you can see that it is translucent. And I'm just checking to make sure. So I do have a little bit here that kind of went to my cuticle. So I like to use just an old brush that I have. And it's just dipped in some rubbing alcohol. And I'm just going to clean up my cuticle area and leave that gap prior to curing the polish. And now it's up to you if you want to cure one nail at a time or if you want to do all 4 nails and then cure. But just again, it is self-leveling, so you do want to work a little bit quicker. Personally, this is why I actually like the 2-finger lamp, because I would just do it 1 nail at a time or 2 nails at a time. So in the mood, again, just removing all the excess polish. So you can see my brush hardly has any polish on it. Start in the middle, push back, and then pull forward. Do the edges. And I have a fuzz. So again, you can see that it is very translucent. Cap the edges. Just removing extra polish. I will admit, when I do videos of applying polish, I don't get as much wear out of them sometimes because I'm not like right up close and personal. It's more of a from the distance because I'm videoing, but that's okay. Capping the edge. So you can see how little polish I had on my brush and how little I need for each nail. The thinner coats you do, the less likely of lifting and peeling you'll have. If it's too thick, it doesn't cure properly, and then it kind of bubbles on the surface of your nail and then lifts or peels. And again, with capping, if you're not capping properly, that's where it'll peel and lift from the tip of your nail. So again, this is Raspberry XOXO. You can see that I hardly have any polish on the brush. Apologies that this isn't focusing. Anyway. Actually, I'm going to wait and do my thumb afterwards. I'm going to cure these other ones here once I clean them up. So again, I'm just cleaning up the edges of my nails and around the cuticle just to ensure that I don't have anything touching. Because if you do allow it to go towards your cuticle or the edges of your nails as your polish grows out, or your nails grow out, the polish will adhere to the edges, and then as it grows, it's going to move and lift and cause early peeling. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and cure those nails. And again, you want to ensure that your polishes are away from the light. Now, some people like to put their polish brushes back in the polish bottle between coats. I'm learning that I like it left out because I'm not having to wipe a whole bunch of excess off each time. So just saves a little bit of time there. But again, you want to make sure your brushes are away from the light from the lamp because they could cure and then be tough. So I'm just going to paint my thumbnail here quickly. So again, hardly any polish on the brush. Start kind of in the middle, push back, and pull forward. Okay, so that coat's done. Again, you can see how thin it is. You can see through the nail or the polish. And again, we're just going to clean up. I did pretty good leaving a gap, but I just want it a little bit better. So just to kind of tidy up the edges a little bit. Now, if you don't have a paintbrush for this, you can use like an orange stick and just run along the edges as well. Or you can use your cuticle pusher and do the same thing. I just find the brush works a little bit better. And cure. Okay, so I just paused it for the curing. So that's all cured. So that's my first coat of all polishes. Now for the sea crest, it's only going to need 2 coats because like I said, it's a very thick polish. Sorry, I'm only trying to get this to focus on my nail when I show you. And then for In the Mood, I'm probably going to do 2, 3, if not 4 coats. And then Raspberry XOXO, I'll probably do 3 coats. I personally like doing 2 or 3 coats regardless of color, just because it adds a little bit more strength to my nail as well. So yeah. Anyway, so I still have a decent amount of polish on my brush. So I'm going to go ahead and do my second coat now. So just applying some pressure, pushing back, and pulling it forward. It's actually a really gorgeous color. This is the first time I've used it. The nice thing about gel polish is that you're not fighting time aside from it leveling out. Whereas old school regular polish, it starts to air dry after so long and gets gummed up. Now, gel polish, it's not going to dry unless you cure it. So again, you want to make sure you're capping the ends and the edges. Okay, and I'm just gonna make sure I clean up my edges again, just to keep that nice, clean manicure look. I must say it took me a while, but now that I've been using this polish for 7 months, I'm getting pretty good at not getting it on my skin. So I hope everybody had a good weekend, and I'm curious to hear all your thoughts about all the specials and new releases coming out tomorrow for February. I'm really excited about a lot of them. Okay, so that's 2 coats. And honestly, that color has really good coverage, so I might be okay with 2 coats. But again, when I hold it up to the light, I can still see through. So for my personal preference, I like it a little bit thicker. So now, if you think that you've touched your nail while you're painting other ones, go ahead and grab a cleansing wipe and cleanse each time. You can totally do that just to be safe. Just give it a few moments to dry, or pop them in the light there for the 45 seconds to just evaporate that a little bit quicker. Not sure if that honestly really works because it doesn't heat up or anything, but I mean, it cures polish, so why not? I know other ladies do try this. So again, my next color is going to be In the Mood. You can see how very little polish I have on the brush. Okay, so we're going to start kind of in the middle, push back to the cuticle, and pull forward. So gel polish is a patient's, like, yes, it's quick in the aspect that you're painting your nails, curing them less than a minute, and then you don't need to wait for them to air dry. You're good to go. But the initial steps, it is patience, because you can see that I'm doing super, super thin coats to get the best wear. A lot of people like to do thicker coats because then you need less. With gel polish, it doesn't work that way. You do a thicker coat, it's not going to cure properly all the way through. It's going to be uncured underneath, and that will cause your polish to lift and bubble and not last you. So, I mean, it hardly looks like I've done anything more to this nail, but that's okay. That is why you build it up. Oops. I'm going to grab a little bit more polish. So for capping, I like to kind of push down on the pad of my finger and pull it away from my nail. Just kind of helps open it up a little bit more to get the edges without getting it on your skin. So you can see I haven't dipped my brushes back into the bottles since the first coat. There's still plenty on there, even though it may not look like it. Again, just cleaning up here as I did get some on my skin. And I want to make sure that that's removed before I cure. I'm just cleaning up here before curing. Okay. Just gonna pause it here. Okay, so that's cured. So I'm done with 2 coats of Seacrest on my pinky. I'm happy with that. I think I'm actually happy with 2 coats of Raspberry XOXO. So far, this is 2 coats of In the Mood, but I'm gonna do a little bit more. So I just dip my brush back into the polish to refresh. Again, very little on the brush. If you notice that your application of a lighter polish is a bit streaky, some people do find that shaking the bottle, especially with like Lovey Dovey or Meet Me at the Chapel, some of the whites, or I Pink You, one of the light pinks, works a little bit better. But again, you just want to be careful with shaking because that introduces bubbles into the bottle and could cause an undesirable application. So I'm going to go back and cap everything now. And just cleaning up. So as you can tell, I'm cleaning between each coat. I'm just going to pause it while it cures. Okay, so when I finished curing, I noticed that I had a fluff in the tip of my middle finger here, embedded in the polish. So I just pulled it, so it did kind of rough it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna, you can fix things easy. So I'm just gonna quickly just buff it lightly. And then just use the cleansing wipe. and clean that dust off. So this is similar, like if you do have polish that's say chipped sooner than what you would hope to change out your manicure, you can just gently file and buff it smooth and apply a new coat of polish. And that might just be enough to get you through a little bit more wear until you're ready to remove and apply a new manicure. So this is coat number 4 and probably my final coat. So yeah, I do have fuzzies again. So one thing I do want to mention, maybe it wasn't with the cleansing wipes, but I know the remover wipes, during COVID, there was a certain material that was needed to make the medical masks. So at some point, they had to switch to a different material just so that the other material needed for the masks wasn't in a short supply. So now that things are slowly getting better, they are back to the original fabric or material for the wipes or the cleansing pad and remover pads. But until all the old stock is worked through, there will still be some that have a little bit more fabric fluffs than others. So just one thing to kind of keep in mind. So for capping, again, I've pretty much showed the same method throughout, but you could also turn your hand around, use your thumb to pull back, and you can do it this way too, and cap the edge this way. Or if you have short nails, you can start further back on the nail and push forward and back. Forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And by doing that, it caps the edge there for you. So try a few different things out, see what works for you. So in cleansing, I am just making sure I'm going around, making a clean edge around my nail, but I'm also just making sure that I don't have any polish underneath my nail. And we're going to cure that. So I hope this has helped kind of Oops. Oops. Don't tip your bottles over. Sorry. I hope this has helped kind of show you application and nail prep. While I have Raspberry XOXO out, I am just going to do a quick heart on my middle finger. So you can either put a dot on your silicone pad here, or just tip your brush up, grab your dotting tool or whichever you want to use, paintbrush, toothpick, cuticle pusher, whatever works for you. Grab polish on it, and I'm going to do just one single heart here. So turn it around here so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, so I think that's... Oh, do I want to do more? What do you think? Should I do more? Make it bigger? Let's see. Now I messed it up. That's okay. If you mess up, you wipe it off. Wipe it off. Let it dry and try it again. I was trying to make a bigger heart is what I was trying. So we'll try it again here. There we go. I'm happier with that. Okay, and I'm gonna cure. And this is pretty much all I have to show you for tonight. I am going to do some nail art on my index and ring finger, but probably not tonight. as I'm gonna have to play around with the design that I want to do, so I need to practice it a little bit more before I do it on video. So yeah, that is what I have for tonight. So again, colors used was Seacrest, In the Mood for 3 fingers, Raspberry XOXO, and then a Raspberry XOXO heart on the middle. Now my hands are super dry right now. So now at this stage, what I would do is I would use my cuticle oil. Okay, so I'll just do that here quickly just to show you how I use it. So I just run it along the moons of my fingers and basically add as much as you want. If you rub it into your hands afterwards, that's even better. And then I just kind of massage it around. Rub it around, rub it up to your first knuckle, because the nails start from back here and grow up and out. So the more health and nourishment you get in at the beginning of nail growth, the better. So then after this, I would apply any kind of hand lotion that I like to hydrate my hands. And then, yeah, I'm done. So thank you for watching. I hope that helped. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and I'll be glad to answer them and help as well. Thanks.